Sometimes in nursing, you just want to walk away. And I'm going to tell you a few stories about why you should stay. There's no other occupation in the world that gives you so much, not just the financial aspect. We make a lot of money compared to some people. There's the emotion and compassion of what we get to do. We get to care for people unlimited. We get to have so much different experiences. If you don't like one kind of nursing, you can learn another. It's just has so much variety in it. But I'm going to tell you a little story. In 1992, Hurricane Andrew hit the southern coast of Florida. And I was working about 200 miles north in West Palm Beach. The day after the hurricane, St. Mary's and the hospital I was working at rented a bus, collected as much water as we could possibly found, and we drove south through unbelievable wreckage, trees up, rooftops gone. We drove all the way to Kendall, which is South Central Florida, and went to relieve the nurses there. It was devastation the whole way. When we got there, the trees had been stripped of leaves, and yet there were birds singing in the trees. When we went in, we didn't know what to expect because we were OB nurses. When we got there, we found nurses that were exhausted. They had no frame of reference of the fact that they hadn't slept. And we came in with water and a lot of compassion and love. We put our arms around them. We loaned them our phones that they could call their families because they didn't have any chargers and no electricity. And we guided them gently to an outdoor space that had beds on the floor that they could sleep. And we took over for them. We were really heroes then. And this is the gift of being a nurse. We do become heroes in all sorts of situations. Then came COVID. During COVID, we were considered demons if we didn't agree with the mandates that were coming down to us. We were nurses. We had experienced all of medicine, and yet what we had to say was irrelevant. No one wanted to hear what we wanted to say. And it really hit home for me when I spoke to a friend of mine recently at work who had been the infection control person. I had overheard her in a conversation saying something about that time and how unhappy she had been about it. So I stopped by her office afterwards and I just wanted to tell her how sorry I was that she had been put in that position and how difficult it must have been for her. She got tears in her eyes and said, "Thank you." And she said, "I would never, ever do that again. I will never, ever put myself in that position again." And she went on to tell me some of the conflict that was going on in administration and how adamant they were that we stay by the mandates and we do this and we do that. And in her own mind, after 20 years of nursing, it didn't make sense to her any more than it did for me at 40 years of experience. None of it made sense. And yet she stuck it out. God bless her. And I love her for that. So why I'm telling you this is that we can go from heroes to demons, but we can come back to being heroes again. And sheroes. I like saying sheroes. And in this environment that I'm creating, I want you to know that we're there for you and that we want to help you to survive and thrive in nursing because there is a way. And part of that requires support. And that's what we're planning to do. There is a way back, and we'll help you with that. Join our group.